The beer store has been around so long it almost blends into the background, and nothing seems to change. Now it's in the news, with critics complaining that the beer store acts like a cartel. Change is in the air, and it's brewing fast. The government is looking at how beer is sold in Ontario. In the next few weeks, Queen's Park will decide what to do about the beer business. That's why the beer store is trying so hard to win your support with an ad campaign called Beer Facts. So let's look at the facts and do a reality check on the beer business. Ready? Fact or fiction? The beer store is run by the government. A lot of its stores are so old and run down, the beer store looks like it's government owned. It even acts like it's government owned. But it isn't government owned. It's not even locally owned. That's what's so bizarre about the beer store. We all have a stake in the way it works, but we don't have an ownership stake in it. It's a much misunderstood monopoly. It has just 3 shareholders: Labatt, whose owners are in Belgium, Molson Coors, now based in the US, and Sleeman, now owned by Sapporo of Japan. Those are the owners. Here's another, fact or fiction. The beer store is not a monopoly. No way are we a monopoly, says the beer store. So how come it has almost 80% of the beer market, with the LCBO getting just the leftovers? The LCBO wants to sell more beer, but it can't. That's because of a secret deal with the beer store. 15 years ago, the government of the day put handcuffs on the LCBO, preventing it from selling beer in 12-packs or 2-4s, which is how most beer is sold.
46 even.
So it's 4 times
Yes,
the
it
6.
is.
Okay.
We only sell 6-packs at the
Okay.
LCBO.
All right. Okay. You can only buy the more economical sizes at the beer store. That's a fact. Hi there.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
How much is that?
Good question. On
Two-
sale, $33.95.
Whoa. What's the regular price?
$36.95.
Okay. There you go. Here's another. Fact or fiction? The beer store doesn't make any profit. In those full-page newspaper ads, which don't come cheap, the beer store says it just breaks even. You know, like a food bank. But the government has been looking into it. An outside panel recommended that Ontario get a fair share of the profits from the beer store. That's a quote, profits. Okay, last one. Fact or fiction? The beer store is a good deal for Ontario. That's what the foreign brewers keep telling us in those ads. What they don't tell us is how well connected they are with the governing party. A lot of prominent Liberals now work for them as lobbyists and consultants. The big brewers are also generous donors. They contributed hundreds of thousands of dollars to Ontario politicians in the last 2 years. Molson and Labatt also let politicians use their private salons in Toronto for fundraising dinners, no charge. And the beer is free on the house. It's a sweet deal for the politicians and the big brewers, but it can leave a bitter taste for beer drinkers. So those are the facts. The question is, how do we get a better deal for Ontario? The beer store's latest response has been to offer craft brewers a minority voice on its board. But make no mistake, the big 3 owners would still run the show. Bottom line, the retail experience will stay frozen in time. All those new ads and proposals ignore the question that's on the lips of every beer drinker. Why not put customers first? Why not let the LCBO sell beer in 2-4s so that you're not forced to buy from the beer store? And why not let other private retailers compete with the private beer store? Not just in corner stores, but also big supermarkets where most of us shop. It's not that complicated. We don't have to privatize the beer store because it's already private. We don't have to kill off the beer store, just bring it back to life with a little competition. This is about consumers and taxpayers who are tired of being shortchanged by the beer store's sweetheart deal. For thestar.com, I'm Martin Reg Khan. Cheers.